All right, guys. Well, looking forward to our first road trip as a team. I was looking at our travel roster and saw that 46 of our 74 players have never traveled with Washington football before. So it is quite a new experience for our football team. This will be, of these guys here that are coming, this will be a completely different experience. Obviously going across the country, but not being a bowl game. Being able to go in on a Thursday and then play Friday night. So there'll be a lot of new, and we're looking forward to that. But as I've been saying, this is another step in the process of joining the Big Ten. And when we join the Big Ten, now these are these opportunities for us that it makes it feel like pro football. I told our guys it's like going from a Monday night game to a Sunday game. It's one day less of preparation. It's an opportunity to go like you're the Rams playing the Giants. And you have these experiences, the Seahawks playing the Giants when I was back in Seattle. So these West Coast trips I've had a chance to do 3 years now when I coached on the West Coast. And then obviously, it's also a great opportunity for our guys to go play a national televised game on Fox. A lot of our guys this will be new for them, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch them perform in this moment. And as we are continuing to build through recruiting and build through the portal when it presents itself, we'll continue to have our team have more and more experiences as we continue on over the years. Until that time, though, this team is ready and excited about the chance to go play Rutgers. Coach Schiano does a phenomenal job, as I've mentioned before. I'm excited about getting back to New Jersey. I know a lot about Rutgers football, and the biggest thing that I know is that when Coach Schiano's the head coach there, they're good. And when he hasn't been the head coach there, they haven't been as good. And he has done just a fantastic job in both stints as a head coach, and he's certainly got the team playing at an extremely high level. I think they finished this season last year ranked 24th in the country. I know they have a lot of returning starters. I believe 7 of them on defense alone. Brought in a starting quarterback from Minnesota to join probably one of the best backfields in the country, certainly in the Big Ten. They went to Virginia Tech and played probably one of the hardest atmospheres in college football and won there this past weekend. So they finished their bowl game. They beat University of Miami to get to a winning record last year. So we have our work cut out for us against a very good team, and we are excited about going.
You mentioned the move to the Big Ten. Obviously, you've been able to offer some kids from New Jersey. How much has that move expanded your guys' recruiting footprint?
Yeah, it's certainly an opportunity to recruit more nationally. I still tell our West Coast families that next year and at least every other year there'll be 8 games in the state of Washington. So you'll have 8 games in the Pacific time zone at a minimum. And then hopefully we'll at least have 1 California game. So I think it's a great opportunity if you're a California kid or a Washington kid or a West Coast Arizona kid to stay on the West Coast and play at Washington. And then I think it gives you an opportunity to go recruit maybe some linemen out of Ohio or Pennsylvania, recruit some receivers or quarterbacks from Florida or New Jersey or Massachusetts or wherever they might be, and still be able to present the Penn State and Ohio State and Michigan home game, be able to present, some of the games, obviously, that occur, Rutgers, for example. But in the end, most of our focus is still on the West Coast, and I still believe that if you're a West Coast kid and you're deciding between other programs in the Big Ten, the chance to stay here, play 8 games in this time zone, will add up over time to being a much more worthwhile decision.
You mentioned the newness of this travel roster. This is about as far east as you guys can go. There's only a handful of programs further east than Rutgers. How much do you feel like that's going to help just with building chemistry with all of this group of new guys?
Yeah, in some regard, when you're playing the NFL, you usually have a 2-week road trip on the East Coast and you stay for a week, and that's when you really build that chemistry. This is one in which we're going to take a 5-hour flight. We're going to land. We're going to do some activations. We're going to do some meetings. We're going to rest. And then we're going to wake up and play the next day. I don't see this as a bonding experience as much as a football game. The most important thing for me is just continue to educate our team on what a road game feels like. We've yet to have one. Educate our team what it feels like to get on an airplane and go through TSA and figure out all the aspects of staying at the hotel outside of the same traditional hotel that we've stayed at the last 4 weekends. And then also be able to prepare ourselves for what I imagine to be a very, very hard environment. It's going to be loud. I've been there for a blackout before. It's going to be sold out, I'm sure. Sounds like that at least. I think they had 4 sellouts last year. They'll have their music blaring. So we're excited about that. But it will be new. It will be new for 48 of our 74 players that have never flown as a Washington Husky before.
You mentioned, going through TSA, kind of getting guys into hotels. What are some of those other logistical, things that come up when you're taking 80-something kids on a road trip that people don't think about?
Yeah, well, your travel roster is you're only allowed to bring 74 on road trips. So you've got, your players that you're bringing in, and then all of your staff, right? All of your medical staff, your equipment staff, your social media staff, and then anybody else that can help you win the game. And then on top of that, once you get there, you have to figure out how you're going to feed a team on an airplane for 5.5 hours that are all, 20 of them probably out of 74 over 300 pounds. You got to figure out some comfort, the ability to sleep, but not sleep too much because you got a 3-hour time difference. So if, curfew's at 11 p.m., that means you're going to bed at 8 p.m. And how many times do these guys go to bed at 8? You figure out how many meals you're going to serve at the hotel. You're going to have to serve them dinner and then a late night snack and then a breakfast and then lunch with the night game. And then we're staying overnight after the game. So feed them after the game as well. So there's a lot of logistics that go in. Our operations team have done a phenomenal job. They're already there making sure that we're ready to go. But it'll be a good experience for our guys and certainly a great step in our process of now being in a brand new conference.
You talked a lot about how important nutrition is. How do you approach nutrition on a road trip?
We hydrate. That's the first most important thing we're going to do. We're going to, try to give them as much liquids as we possibly can throughout starting today and send them home with Gatorades and waters, and then obviously load up the airplane with them as well, and then continue that hydration process. It's going to be 80 degrees in New Jersey on Friday. Kickoff about 62 degrees. So we're going to make sure we get some fresh air. We're going to make sure we continue to eat. We've got to do a great job of keeping their weights up. We've got to do a great job of fueling them. I've always said, these guys, their body is their moneymaker. So you have to invest in their body. And with that, we're going to have a good amount of food on the plane, before the plane, and after it.
Is there anything you can offer on Bryce Butler's availability for this week?
Bryce will not be available this week.
You mentioned earlier in the week the addition of some more special teams periods, kind of getting ready for this week, just trying to clean up some of those mistakes. How do you feel like the progress has been this week on special teams?
Yeah, it's been really good. I think we've really done a great job, Coach Powell, Coach McElwain, of just really focusing in on, some of the issues that have arisen over the course of the 4 games, as well as taking a very conscious approach to Coach Schiano's special teams and certainly some of the unique things that they present as well. So we've done a lot of special teams periods. We've done a lot of special teams meetings, and we'll continue to do that up till game day or game time.
Is there maybe something specific that you guys saw through 4 games? I know last week you talked about having a lot of guys sort of unavailable on special teams, but is there something kind of more structural that you've seen kind of through the first 4 weeks that has kind of led to some of that?
No, unfortunately, we've had to play a lot of different. We've had a lot of subbing going on due to some injuries of guys that maybe started the first week or in training camp as starters in special teams that have been nicked up or haven't been able to play in special teams. We've missed some opportunities that may have presented themselves to cover kicks a little bit better. We were overloaded on one punt that got blocked. We didn't have a great snap on a field goal we missed at the end of the half. So we've got to just clean that up, and that's going to be, that's a full focus for us. It's also part of this process of continuing to get better and putting in a brand new system in 3 phases in one, 8-month period and 9-month period, and then also against all new opponents. This isn't, the Pac-12 where each year you've played the same coaching staffs, you've played the same teams, you kind of know what each team does. This is going to be all new opponents with no real experiences of playing them.
Some teams have taken some unique steps to prepare for Big Ten travel. USC met with some members of the Rams and the Chargers. Is there anything that your operations staff did to prepare for a trip like this, or is this something kept entirely in-house that they've been working on for the past offseason?
Well, we spoke to the Seahawks because they played opening day in New England. So they had a very similar East Coast trip, we'll call it. I keep a lot of notes from my times at different places, so I certainly dusted off some of our itineraries and notes of what we had when we've traveled from my time on the West Coast traveling east, which is different than the East Coast traveling west. So we looked through that. We talked to guys. I talked to coaches over at the Rams, trainers, and then our head team trainer is from the Cardinals, and he spent 15 years as the head athletic trainer of the Arizona Cardinals. So he has a ton of experience of these games. So he's been kind of our lead in communicating the times, what to do, how to handle the airplane, and done a really good job with that.
Good.
Great.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.